Welcome everyone to Legendary Tales. The sound is working. I think I got it finally. I think I got it to a point where it's actually going to work every time. Hopefully. I say that now. It's going to fuck up the next time we play, obviously. But, yeah. Go ahead and give us a recap from episode 33, please. Rap.
Yeah, so we started off in Juneskale in the inn. Vidar and Lochek attempted to expand their meat empire by investing in the smoking business there. We went and spent the night there in the inn and had breakfast in the morning, and after which we went across the street to the Mushroom Farm caves, where we donned some specialist equipment so that we could deal with potentially hazardous spores and gases and whatnot. Um, where we discovered some burrowing critters that appear to be somewhere between beetles and spiders, and they were, of course, creating all sorts of creepiness by walking around and emitting a red light that we had to stay the hell out of. We basically snuck through the first area, avoiding fights, and then got to the second area and discovered a much bigger one that Vidar decided to have a psychic conversation with. At which point, we caused a distraction by pushing a minecart full of coal and fire in there, along with a very loud noise that may or may not have been part of some artificer tinkering. And then picked a fight and blinded a spider, and one of the robot boys died. Nobody knows who. Spider things, of course, explode and deal acid damage when they die because on death mechanics, why not? And that sounded way more saltier than I meant it to. I apologize.
You are a Path of Exile player, to be fair.
I am a Path of Exile player. That's where that salt comes from.
I completely agree.
Anyway, so at the very end of the fight, Rep failed 2 death savings throws and died, but was saved from death due to the sacrifice of Callum. Callum, the old king, Callum, bro of bros, Callum, Chad of magnificence, defender of the realm. And that brings us to where we are right now.
All right. That literally brings us down. I think that, yeah, Vidar had just popped a healing potion and given it to Rep. Literally. And Rep comes back with his power core. You could definitely tell, like, there's an outer core to the power core that's made of, like, brass that encases it, and a lot of that has been melted away, but the actual, like, temper core inside is completely undamaged. You can tell, like, this front is, like, melted away and everything. Yeah, what are you guys doing? You're literally sitting in the middle of the cave, surrounded by these huge corpses and these, like, giant chunks of what appear to be, like, shiny, like, sort of, like, almost glowing red rock, or, like, carapace.
I had poured a potion all over Technician. Did any of that have an effect as he came back to life?
No, it did not, because you have to drink it, actually.
After he starts to gasp, I take another one and, like, jam it in his goblet.
In his gullet. Okay. Go ahead and hit that healing potion for me, please. Yeah. Now that he's back, how are you feeling, Loershik? Now that you don't have the presence that you've had for the last, like, 8 months, just gone.
I'm not currently thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more focused on the now reliving Technician in front of me, and there's some immense sadness that's kind of, like, undertoned, but I'm sure that it's gonna hit me later.
Okay. Oh, I have a feeling that it will. So, Vidar and Snek, can you both make perception checks for me real quick? I want to know if you actually saw if he died or not. I need to know. Vidar.
I like how no matter what character I play, if it's anything related to a snake at all, I will always be referred to as Snake.
I meant to say.
I know.
You
But
know,
it
Sabbath,
ends up
sorry.
happening every time. It's like crabs, you know? You evolve the crabs, it always ends up becoming a snake.
So
for me.
even though you were right there, Sabbath, you did not see that Technician actually died.
I did kind of get exploded by acid.
You
Yeah, she was dead on the back of the
That's right.
Yeah, I was
Beetle
kind of
Queen, and I
This was
resurrected
like
her.
my current position was like being resurrected and then moving over there.
That's
afterwards.
true.
It's just like 2 seconds. So the actual would be,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
I think you better. I only died.
And I think Vidar would actually have to be over here as well. But you're probably just getting out of the acid was probably your main objective.
I was at the
time.
I was at the very north top of the map when it all ended.
It was, yeah. So you're a bit far away. You're not sure if you saw the light go out or not, but Loershik, you did. Yeah, obviously, you did. You were definitely there for it. Yeah, Technician, you sort of awaken and you can feel, contrary to popular belief, Warforged can absolutely feel, and you feel this is the worst amount of pain you have ever been in as you wake up.
Ow! My everything. Lorechik, I think I know what you did. I have so many things to tell you about that experience, but I will tell you later as I recount them. It is too much right now. Ow, my everything.
Are you okay?
My
Do you
parts.
need anything?
My parts. I appear to be intact. My parts.
I checked to make sure his volume knob is still there.
It is. It is. It was a little bit far
I turn
down.
it down to 0. I just I run my fingers over his eyes. I'm just, I'm kidding. I help the Technician to his feet.
Okay.
You make a pun, believe it or not, dead.
Everyone now that we're in the current time, everyone make a perception check, please. He rolls a 3 and still gets a 14. That's insanity. That's literal, actual insanity. Loershik and Technician, you two here from the east side in the sort of barracks area, you hear a very loud, sort of clicky carapace feet on stone noise coming towards you very quickly.
Which direction do I look around to
East.
see if I can see where it's at.
East.
East?
From the place that you came.
Got it.
And as you're sort of sitting there, a huge amount, 50 of those volatile creepers, the big ones, come rushing back from the place that you came down in the elevator, come rushing through there and go to the southwest. There's a large hole in the wall that was sort of acid burned through. And they just trample all the way through, red lights basically shine in your direction, but not far enough that they could see you. But it definitely appears that all of them are leaving this area.
And I point to all the carapaces running by.
I assume that all of you go quiet.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no.
Rep is trying to talk, but doesn't realize that his volume knob has been fiddled with, so he's remarking that it looks like they're.
I turn it up to 1, just 1.
It looks like we have solved the bug problem.
And it's 50, all in almost a straight line, come barreling through and go to that area. And you sort of see the red light dim as they all walk into the wall, into this giant hole in the wall, and leave.
Defender.
Then, as you're looking around, you see what's left of Defender. It's basically half a body, because he's just exploded. He took so much acid damage that.
Yeah, didn't he take the exact same from my own knockout?
No, he took more than you did because he failed his saving. Or yeah, you both failed your saving throw, didn't you? Yeah, he took 50 something. Both of you took
if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have gone down in the first place because rogues are funny.
Yep. It's probably going to take a little bit more than mending to fix. When you get over there, you realize that it's not just a crack. It's a very large chunk of him has been dissolved.
Okay.
Devin really didn't want him to be a bear.
That's
Really? It doesn't even change the damage. It literally changes nothing. He just looks like a bear.
No, I don't care what he looks like. That's your character. I'm not gonna tell you if I like it or not. It's up to you. I'm just saying that. Yeah.
No, I got you. Okay, so we're making a new steel defender later. Then is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So, that being said, shortly after the sort of rampage heads down, the guide that was with you in his gas mask sort of runs in and looks around and is like, "Are you guys okay? What happened?"
Vidar is going to kind of start asking questions immediately and be like, was the wall that we were told that they broke in through originally, was that the wall that we already passed through, and point back towards where we came into this map? Or is that the wall to the southwest where we just saw a bunch flee out?
He sort of looks around and sees that you guys are good and that Technician's alive without his gas mask on, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And he takes his gas mask off and he breathes. He goes, "Oh, I was very afraid, but I'm good now." That is the hole they came in initially. And he sort of looks at Vidar. He says, "You know how to do explosives, right?"
I am not overly familiar with explosives, but I
We
know
know a
some
friend.
who are.
Oh, well, the other guy's looking worse for wear, so here. And he hands you like a small satchel. And inside of it is a handful of like shape charges to blow up the cave and cave it in so they don't. So it takes them a little bit longer to come back in if they decide to at all.
Travis is gonna walk over and go, "Give me half."
You can take it all if you feel confident in this. Just give her the whole satchel.
Wait, she was the one who said that. Words. She was the one who said the. She was the one who set the thermite charges late earlier. Oh my god. I promise I'm mostly here.
He looks over at Technician and he says, "We need to get him repaired before we do anything else." But I don't remember what Soul Flayer? What is it? Soul Eater, Skin Flayer, Butt Ripper. What's your name? And he's like looking at Vidar, like just naming names. He doesn't.
Flesh render.
Flesh Render. All right. They did not eat one crate of mushrooms, so we have to take that upstairs.
Shut up, Dave.
And I trust you to get it up there because you seem a little bit more on the agile type.
I was just gonna turn around and call back and go, "Oh, how much of the cave do you want gone? Entrance?
Just
Entire thing?
Just the hole. Just the hole over
Just
there.
the hole. Just the hole. Okay. got it.
There's a hole.
Sabas is gonna completely ignore anything Technician says and just start clicking charges on the walls.
Okay. What are you doing
While she's doing this, I want to go and look at Creeper Queen's body and see if there's any like gold or cool new weapons.
Our loot? You're looking for loot right now?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an investigation check, please. Okay. High or low?
High, of course.
Okay. Okay. You're sort of looking around and you're pulling like her large carapace, like the exoskeleton. She had like an exoskeleton. Then on top of that, she had this like armor plate sort of. It looked natural. but it is emitting a dim version of that red light that you saw on the other creepers, except the other creepers sort of just dissolved and it looked to be a part of like the catalytic part, explosive part of their body, where the plates on her body are actually left behind. And when I say her plates, I'm talking like 4 10-foot by 3-foot sections of carapace are left over, and they weigh about 60 pounds each. So there's 4 of those. And then inside of that, she was wearing a necklace.
I pick up the necklace and look to the group. Hey, do we have any need for large, heavy queen carapace?
Is it made of something I could just like cool with?
It might be fashionable into armor.
You okay, technician?
No.
Can't blame them.
Can I carry one of these 10-foot by 3-foot carapaces on my shoulder?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If
I
you
pick one of those
you
up.
could stack them relatively close. They're a bit awkward because they're not all exactly the same shape. They don't really fit into each other very well. But you could carry 2 if you absolutely had to.
Hey, technician, remind me later. I have something I need you to identify, but you don't seem kind of all there right now. We'll do it later.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you go, is anyone else picking up plates or no? Are you picking up 2 or just 1, Lurishik?
We came down in an elevator, right?
You did?
Yeah, I'll pick up 2 for now.
Okay.
1 each shoulder.
Low air chick. Do you want the rest?
The rest of this lady?
The plates.
Yeah, I did.
I'll shovel the other 2 into the bag of holding.
Okay.
I just look at him like bewildered, like
It's up to 500 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And you don't
pleasantly empty because we took the schematics out of it. We took parts out of it. I think there might have been like a potion or something hanging on. The
Yeah,
bottom,
it's
but-
Random
Yeah.
corpse that you
Ra-
threw in there. You know.
Did I?
No, you didn't throw any corpses.
I'm just
in
throwing
Oh,
some
random-
down into your brain.
Oh no, and you're also referencing something that happened 3 campaigns ago. Yeah.
Yeah, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
there. No, that's what my illithid does.
technician. Can I put those in there?
Yeah. Yes. It should be able to hold them.
Your guide.
I cram both in there.
Your guide walks over and he like sort of gets under technician because he's a little bit shorter and he's helping him walk. You guys are actually able to make it back to the elevator and back up right away. It's actually really easy. You just uneventfully. So technician, if you want to mark down that you have the four creeper queen
Yeah.
plates.
Creeper queen plates.
Yep.
Times
Hold on,
4. Got it.
I will be blowing the charges for the record.
He looks at you. He says, he's like, are they set? Okay, we can actually hit them. He hands you like a sort of like wired thing that has a little antenna on it. It's basically just a little radio clicker thing. And he's like, when we get on the elevator, hit it, and as we go up, we'll be good. Is anyone else going to search anything else or no?
Are any of the crystals of the queen left?
You could check. You can investigate if you like.
Mostly just curious about if there's anything like, so to speak. Acid is useful in her profession. She wants to know if there's any way she can salvage some of it, whether it's finding a gland
Go and
or
investigate.
putting it in.
Do an investigate for me.
Okay. This is actually the reason I picked acid spells are because they're useful in her profession. At least in my head. Fuck yeah.
Awesome. That's a 21. Yes, you actually do find a set of basically small acid sacs that she was not able to use on you. She had like a large, and it's like a different, it's not the same acid. It doesn't appear to be volatile. It appears to be inert without another ingredient that you're not sure about.
Can I try and find it?
If you go ahead and make a raw intelligence check for me, please.
Okay. Intelligence. Mod man. I'm gonna take that as a no. I'm gonna go to the elevator.
No. You're
Alright,
not.
I'll take the inert acid.
You get a few vials of acid, not like a full flask, but you do get like a no, you get like 2 flasks of acid. So if you want to add 2 flasks of acid to your character sheet, make sure you call it.
I have to do that. I have to do that between in D&D Beyond, right? I can't.
Either
do that
one.
in BT2.
Either one. We'll just put it on your notes somewhere. I don't really care. We'll figure it out as long as we remember that it happened. You guys get back on the elevator and you head upward. What are you doing? Is anyone doing anything else? Are you guys going straight to the inn? Are you talking to the receptionist? What is your plan? Oh, Vidar.
I have a box of explosive mushrooms on me, apparently. Are these hydrated mushrooms? Are they deactivated?
So as you're moving through the other section, you notice that there's a room to the northeast from where you came. Actually, I'm going to transfer us over here. Oh, wait. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. Steel Defenders linked actor data is not true. It's not checked on his character sheet. And he should be. Did you put Steel Defender? Did you put the Defender inside your bag of holding? I assume you did. What's left of him?
Because exactly, because we're gonna have to do more work.
So that bag is at capacity at this point, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that normally he probably weighs 150 pounds, so that shit is like at capacity.
Okay, so let me throw another wrench in the works because this disappeared from my inventory probably because of the character sheet update. Also in the bag of holding, which I was double checking just now and fixing, full plate armor and a +1 longsword. But I moved the +1 longsword, so I don't know what full plate armor weighs. It's like 300 pounds by itself, isn't it?
65.
So we'll call it, like, do you just want to call it at capacity?
I would say that you would have dropped that plate off because you went back to the camp before you came here. I would argue that you dropped that off. So I would say that that's probably back in your tent.
Oh, okay. The intent was to sell it, so. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, actually, Low Airship could carry Defender. That would make sense. That Low Airship would just have Defender. Honestly, everyone has something that they're carrying.
Yeah, everybody's carrying something. There we go.
Sabis, I had something. Oh no, Vidar, you're looking at this. It's not a crate. It does appear to be made of wood. The outside is made of wood. What you're carrying is actually more like a sort of biohazard canister that appears to have like wooden panels on the outside for dampening. So it's made of a very soft wood, like a very thick balsa, or like a wood that basically if you drop it, it will absorb most of it's not a hardwood. Or is that the definition? I think the definition of hardwood is that it's actually very flexible and it can absorb lots of stuff, and then softwood is like a different thing. But either way, it's made of wood so that if you drop it, and it has like rubber corners and stuff like that, and it actually has like a cranking opening like lock on the front of it. And as you're looking around in this large room, there were like tons of these canisters everywhere, and the vast majority of them have had their like the wood and the metal sort of corroded away and then drunk out of or like peeled back so they could eat whatever's inside of it. And you could definitely feel it is actually airtight, like they sucked the air out of it and kept the water in there to make sure everything stays inert. But you definitely, it's very, very heavy. It probably weighs 100 pounds actually. And it's only about 3 feet by 2 feet total. So there's not a whole lot in it, but you could definitely tell that there's something crazy inside. It's definitely not a normal carrying device or container. It's a specialized
And,
container.
Durad is with us still.
I could not
I
remember his
assume.
name. Yes, I did not remember what his name was.
I had autocomplete on my notes. Remind me. Um, I'm just gonna ask him. Is there anything special I need to do to handle this?
Don't drop it. That's about it.
Should be able to manage.
Should, hopefully. But either way, we'll get up there and we'll get this man some healing and we'll be good. How was it? You'll have to give me the recap when we get up there. But yeah, you get up to the top and the receptionist lady looks at you and goes, "Oh my gosh. I will call for a healer. I'm pretty sure we have a healer. I'll get one for you." And she just sort of runs away. That is definitely exactly how I would have described what it looks like. Yes. Yeah, you guys get back up and they take you straight to the tavern. Durad takes you to the tavern and sort of puts technician on one of the tables immediately. And a bunch of the adventurers, like a bunch of new adventurers, you guys have been down there for about 45 minutes total, investigating, dodging, doing all of your things. You get back up and a whole new group of adventurers comes over. One of them is very clearly a cleric and she just immediately starts casting healing spells, like basically emptying all of her spells into you, technician. And what we're going to do is we're going to consider this a long rest. So everyone long rest on your characters. I assume that everyone is probably long resting anyway. I would assume that is what's happening.
Sabas's goal is go back to the tavern and clock out. She has like no HP.
Yeah. All of you are low. All of you are low. Like even
as Sabas is walking by to go to a room or the room or whichever it is, Sabas, this is yours. It's your gem of light. I'm sorry, what was it?
Gem of
yeah,
Brightness.
Gem of Brightness. Gem of Brightness.
Gem of brightness. There we go.
Wow, I completely forgot about that thing. Holy shit. Yeah, she's gonna take the Gem of Brightness and then, fix the fucking unfucked case with bending before she goes to bed.
Fair
Y'all fucked
enough.
up my case. Gave you a shiny object when you shoot it.
That was not me.
I know. But I'm blaming all of you.
Fair enough. Okay, Loershik, what are you doing?
I would like to rest, but before I rest, I need some food.
Okay.
I eat that.
Obviously.
Then after I rest, I eat more food. And if the next morning, if I notice that technician is no longer stuttering, I'm gonna talk to him about a thing.
About a thing?
Hmm?
What thing?
Is it the next morning yet?
Well, let's get. Vidar, are you doing anything specific?
Nope. Just mostly pondering the great ashworm thing. Not that we have any leads on that, but just kind of hoping that the lady we killed was the beacon and that it is no longer coming.
That's actually fair. Okay. Do you want to do a little bit of investigation, see if anyone has any books or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I might have mentioned it to Durad on the way up. He did say that he wanted tales. I'll basically have recounted to him basically all of what the psychic conversation with the Creeper Queen was.
Okay. Durad just sort of looks at you like he's confused mostly. He says, I don't know. I've never heard of it. It might be a North thing. There are a bunch of folk who live underground. Maybe they know more.
Are there any of these underground folk happen to be in town? Or are they permanently north?
Most of them that I know of are permanently north. I unfortunately do
If
not
you ever
have
wonder that way, I'll ask.
Fair enough. Technician, what are you doing? Just getting healed, or do you have anything else specific that you want to do?
Getting healed, and then we're gonna bust out the Smith's tools and repair Steel Defender.
So you're gonna take your basically anytime you're not turned off that you're gonna be repairing him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're gonna let me spend the rest instead, just adding guns to the Steel Defender. He defends, but he also attack.
Well,
No, nope. Joke. We'll just keep this simple. Nope.
But your jolt, your arcane jolt, I would consider him having like a taser or something similar.
Yeah.
Where if you want to manifest that as like an arcane firearm or like a turret that he has on his back, I would absolutely do that. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Where you have an ability that fits the description.
Yeah, it does have the yeah. You're absolutely, but it's flavor. So I'll think about how to flavor that.
Okay, I just want to let you know that I absolutely will let him have a gun because you have an ability that justifies it, sort of, in like a flavor way.
Got it.
I mean, who doesn't like guns?
Can you please make Defender a fucking cat so we can have a cat with a gun?
No, it needs to be a shark.
Bear
with
with gun.
a freaking shark with a freaking laser beam on his freaking head.
Okay, that
No,
that,
sharks are too smart. We know this already.
Oh.
They book read, you know.
a turtle with a cannon does sound fascinating.
Me smart. Book read.
So smart, me.
Oh, I love that. Sneak.
What? No. I don't know my Pokemon, so I'm not going to make it a.
I should have recorded that.
Blastoise.
War Turtle? Is this War Turtle?
War Turtle is his pre-evolution.
Gotcha.
Yep. War Turtle doesn't have the War Turtle doesn't have the guns. Sorry, I was just messing with the cameras because I could see everyone's like thing around their name when they talked, so I was just adjusting them. A little bit of waffle. Lorshik, I assume that you're sleeping, right? Everyone's just basically hitting the hay because you're all tired and sore. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and take the long rest. Technician is doing his 2 hours thing. Vidar is doing his 2 hours. I assume that Vidar's up right away. Sabas is out like the whole time, like Lorshik. Both of you were damaged as hell. Vidar is probably the first one up.
I definitely had trouble sleeping though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think Sabas actually knows that Technician died.
No, she doesn't.
Because she never noticed and no one said anything, so
So
she just
he
kinda
came
like,
back with a
"Oh."
lisp, basically, is what happened.
I mean, at this point, she just thinks acid probably fucked with your voice modulator or something like that. Is it just me, or did Dave's camera freeze? I'm meditating.
Yeah, okay.
He's meditating.
I saw that too. Yep, hang on.
Nope.
Nope.
Still meditating.
Still meditating.
Wow. Okay.
You have to activate and deactivate the source. And
Oh man, if we could.
Or we should just keep meditating day the entire time.
We should do that and then make him set his profile picture.
Aw.
Dang it! Make him set his profile picture on Discord to that.
I am too fast. Haha.
Okay. Okay. You guys awaken the next morning. Rep, you feel much better overall. Your insides are not as conjungled. Yeah, everyone seems to be okay. You guys awaken the next morning, still sore. Everyone is still in pain. Sabas, you notice that your scales are a little bit less lustrous, a little bit dull comparatively to what they used to be. A little bit pockmarked in some areas. Your tattoo appears to be great, though. Your Absolorn tattoo, or your Absolorn engraving, sort of, on your scales appears to be perfectly fine.
This is just gonna like file down some of her scales and make them shiny again.
Dope. Loershik. Wait, Vidar is the first one up. What are you doing? Are you doing anything specific?
Is there anyone else up?
Oh,
Like in the
technician.
kitchen?
Technician has been.
I
Technician
mean,
has probably been
any of the
in.
locals up?
The two sons are, because they do night shift usually.
I'm just gonna make small talk with them about the fact that the farm should be good for taking back now.
Awesome. They're just sort of looking at you in between, like checking on meat, and then like they only check on it like every half hour. So you literally have like a whole half hour to check, and they do you give them the whole rundown about what happened?
At high level, not anything too specific.
Okay.
Just like mention that we found some beetles. We beat up the beetles. We closed off their hole.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And he's just like they're both just like super jazzed about that. And the one of them sort of looks over and he's like, I can't wait to get down there and start growing things. Very excited. He sort of rubs his hands together.
I was told that these are medicinal mushrooms. Are they used in cooking at all?
No, if you use that in cooking, you'll burn yourself. Putting those in cooking is like adding literal fuel to fire. You have to process them for a very long time in a very humid chamber. So, in one of the rooms inside that underground area, it's sealed off for processing. Essentially, we suck all of the air out of it, and then you process it in a non-oxygenated environment, and then you dry them and sort of rehumidify them to a overexertion point to make them non-volatile, and it sort of soaks them through, and then you fill them with essentially ash from the sand, and it makes them inert, and then you can take that outside where it can no longer explode, and then you can make that into restorative medicine. You can actually, on some cases, you can regrow limbs if you concentrate it enough. It's pretty incredible. They're very expensive. That little case you've got there is about 4,000 or 5,000 gold.
Well, it seems lucky that we have restored the ability for the town to use the farms then.
I. Oh. And they sort of stretch there for a moment. Well, is there anything that you want, or anything your mates are going to want for breakfast? Because whatever they want, we've got it. I know that one is specifically fond of meat, the red one.
Yes, he is fond of all sorts of the meat. He tends to always carry jerky with him, so it's possible. No, it's not possible that he is tired of jerky, but he may want a variety of types.
Sure, we actually made some specifically for him. See, there's this crazy deer that walk through the you know the trees. Have you been inside the trees to the northeast of here?
The forest that
Yes.
seems like it follows you, that one?
Yeah, that was the weird ones that like followed us at night. Had the weird lights.
Yeah, the walking
like,
the
light-
the walking willows. That's what they're
Sorry, I was saying that out of character
Technically-
because I don't think I'm in this conversation.
technically called. They're called the walking willow. Well, there's a set of deer that live there that actually jump along the top of the forest because they're very strong. And yeah, we managed to catch one. It's very weird looking as well. And he sort of pulls out one of the like jerky that he made from it, and it's jet black, except the fat color on it is almost like pearlescent oil, like oil stains in water. You know how it makes it rainbow? Like, I don't remember what that effect is called, but essentially it's like black meat with like oil that literally looks like pearlescent fat on it.
Well, this is probably something he hasn't tried before that should excite him.
It should. It's very good. It tastes absolutely incredible. Closest thing I could think of would be the sea eels. Very salty, but also delicious. So, yeah, they should be awakening any time now, right?
I would expect.
Technician, during your 2 hours, during your 2 hours of low time maintenance, after you immediately get on fixing Defender as much as you can, then you do your 2 hours and you awaken and keep going, right? I assume that's what you did. That's what you did.
Yeah.
Your 2 hours, are you recounting exactly what happened to you when you went up to when you died and came back? So you died, right? You're sitting there. The last thing you remember. If you guys don't mind, we're gonna jump off the regular people. Everyone, bear with me, and go to what happened to Technician when he went to the Eternal Vision. So the last thing you remember is you look straight forward. One of the beetles explodes into the other one, coating it in acid. That one ignites and blows you up. You hit yourself into a wall and you fall down, and you see acid dripping into yourself, and you're sort of trying to pull it out, and you sort of look up as your power core loses power for just a moment, and your eyes sort of blink out their color, and you sort of sit up and look around, and all around you is the most beautiful plain of inch-high green grass you have ever seen. You look around, and the sky is not a sky. The sky in front of you is a very, very quickly rotating. If you're on the Earth and you were looking in the sky, we rotate very slowly from our perspective. The perspective from the moon is very, very fast in comparison, and you can actually see the world in front of you. You can see most of the continents on one side. The actual continents almost branch around, but there's a huge gap of water in between them. In between, what is it? Hold on. In between, essentially Siltime, the eastern side, and the Crag and the Verdengard, and that whole section that's uninhabitable on the left side. There's only a little bit between those two if you were to wrap it around a globe. And you can see all of it. And all of it, it's not a bright blue pearl like the descriptions of Earth are from space. It's a gray, white, and brown sort of lustrous orb from your perspective, but you're sitting in a plain of grass. You can almost see the curvature of the moon from where you're sitting. And just for that moment when you arrive there, directly on your right is Callum, looking at you.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I feel well, but I fear I may not be.
No. But he asked me to come here instead of you. So here I am. Here we are.
You are here to take my place.
I am. I've traded my existence for yours, essentially.
That was foolish of them.
I disagree. I disagree very much.
I would argue that you carry more utility to them than I do.
No. You know why? Because you, Technician, exist in a real state. You are palatable. You can interact with people. I can't do that. I existed purely in a advisory state. I could assist when I could, obviously, but I've been there for around 12,000 years, trapped in my own skull. And the amount of time that I spent with you guys, that little bit of flash, those few months, felt longer than my entire existence. It was fantastic. But I would not trade in a single moment the life you've lived for the one I had to live with you guys. I would rather you be there to save the world from everything.
I do envy you.
In what way?
You will be here at peace. I believe, at peace. I don't know this place. I assume this will be restful for you?
No. No,
Oh.
So, you know why? He sort of stands up and he pulls you up with him. He puts one of his huge, because he's 12 feet tall. The dude is huge, right?
Yeah, he's twice my size. Yeah.
He pulls you up, and he like dusts your shoulders off and looks, because we're right in the middle. We're sort of on the side of what is the actual eternal vision. And you know what it is? He turns around and he points down, and you guys are on the edge of a cliff. And as you look down, millions and millions of creatures are battling each other inside of an infinitely sized quarry. When I say infinitely sized, when you look down into this quarry, it is never ending. The other side, you could definitely see the planet. You could see everything else, but this side is what's visible to the people on the planet. And when you're looking down, you look at this quarry, and it's literally temper, the entire thing. They're fighting in a giant quarry made of temper. It looks a little bit different. It looks raw. So temper looks like Damascus steel, where it's got pure ribbons of like specific colors. And you're looking at it, and he looks down at you and he says, "Do you know what that is?"
The eternal struggle.
It is. Do you know what happens when they stop fighting?
They both lose.
No. Those people lose. And he points back at the planet. Because where do you think temper came from?
Temper is what remains of the eternal warriors of the eternal struggle.
Exactly. When you die here, you turn into irisite, which is what they're standing on. And as you're looking at it, you can actually see that every time someone is slain, and like you can see miles and miles and miles, but people are dying everywhere, they sort of fall down, and then their whole body slowly transforms into a giant man-shaped or demon-shaped or angel-shaped or snake-shaped, like every shape and size of everything slowly starts transforming into irisite, which is like a sort of, if you were to take temper and reverse change it into bismuth, it looks like a crystalline structure, and all of the things that are dying are turning into it. When these people stop fighting, where do you think the quarry came from?
From their war.
And then where do you think the parts of that war came to us?
That I do not know.
They dig it up and they throw it. They literally project it to the planet.
So when they stop fighting, they will dig up the irisite, throw it to the planet, which creates more problems on the planet.
Because the state that we're in, this moon, this body, celestial being, is made of raw essence and raw arcane. You take them and put them together. What does that make? Death and undeath. The energy that's stored, the life energy and the magic energy that's stored in the rock and the metal in its raw state cannot turn to temper for 100 years. 100 years in our time, right? Because for us, this has been 15 minutes. It's been less than a second on the planet. So, think about it for a minute. If it's been 12,000 years since they dropped it on us the last time, extrapolate. How many millions of years is that? Millions.
Millions.
So, do you know what happened that triggered the irisite? Do you know what happened to the
What
last?
happens?
Do you know what happened to the last Soulforged?
I do not.
Well, maybe just look around for a moment, And make a perception check for me, technician, please. You turn around, and a dwarf with a giant walking stick comes hobbling towards you. And he's not a dwarf, he's a human. But it appears to be that both of his legs had been cut off, and he has like these strange like temper prosthetics walking towards you. And he has a large braided black beard with his hair is very long and is very tightly braided to his head, and he has a giant scar that comes from his nose all the way over his head, all the way back, and his hair is missing all the way back, and it looks like somebody clawed or like poured acid or fired his face. He sort of walks over to you, and his walking stick is not a walking stick. It's a hammer. A hammer that looks very, very familiar to you.
Ferald,
That's me.
Forge Master.
Posthumously, of course.
Even in death, your designs are going to help us in our struggle.
Why you think I did it? Well, did you see him? The key.
I believe so.
You know him. You travel with him.
Vidar, yes.
Aye. Did he see?
He is the-
Did he have a vision of me dying?
Yes. He told us about it. Not in great detail, but he did tell us.
Do you
He
know?
is
do
reserved.
Do you know what happened after that?
I do not.
The man that killed me, Mumbal, the Soulforged of Void, walked and killed himself in the ocean. Do you know how much energy, arcane in essence, it released? Because I am an arcane Soulforged. I'm magic. That's just my nature. He is both. Mumbal is made of both. Both essence and arcane. If he dies, this war stops. Because all of his energy is released back up here. We didn't know it was going to happen.
So if Moonball dies, his energy is released, this war stops, the planet is pelted by pieces of irisite, causing untold death and destruction.
Yes.
So we cannot kill Moonball.
It's not Moonball this time. It's a new one.
If it is not Moonball this time, they have very successfully posed as Moonball.
No. They've been using shards of his body. That's what caused the destruction of Nilhund. Is that black orb in the eye of Moonball that you've seen? They're parts of his body.
Yes. But that did lead us to believe that Moonball was responsible. If
He-
Moonball is dead and cannot
But he
be
is.
responsible.
He's a god. Just like me. He ascended. Just like we all did. But the issue is the physical body is made of something different. It's made of raw irisite in most cases, because the void has limitless, infinite power. And he sort of breathes for a second, and he looks at you with his one good eye. I need you to find the new Void Soulforged. If you kill him, it can all be over. Don't worry about what's happening to the world. You've gotten 2 of them. You got a few left to find. If you can find a few more and you kill the Void Soulforged, it's over. It's all over. Void can't do things on his own. It's not possible.
Ferold, I suspect that we may have already met Void Soulforged.
You did not. If you think
did
it's
not.
Yvonne, it's not.
Okay.
Being a Void Soulforged, you cannot hide it. It's impossible. You'll know immediately. But you also need to be very scared of that person. Because they're a Soulforged that knows they're Soulforged. From the beginning. And he has like a really nice, like, suit of scale mail on, and he sort of starts undoing like the front of it, like the belts that are on the front underneath his sort of breastplate that he's like removed, and he opens it, and on his chest you can see literally through the hole that he got stabbed by Moonball, and there's these black veins that lead all over his chest all the way up onto his shoulders, and right above that there's the symbol of an eye, like the eye of Moonball. Except right in the middle of, it's like a circle with another circle, sort of like an iris, but right in the middle of that, there's a cross, like a crosshair. It almost looks like a crosshair, but it's made of like black veins on this giant sort of scar that's in the middle of his chest. Look for this symbol.
So, sorry, that's a circle with another circle in it with crosshairs inside of it.
Yep.
Okay.
But it looks organic rather than like any other symbol. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Understood.
You've got to go now.
Ferold,
Yeah.
did you know Illisan?
I did.
Do you know why he would be in hiding?
No. If I could find my brothers or sisters, well, here somewhere, I could tell you. But unfortunately, I don't know where they are. I sensed you coming here, and I was very confused for a moment. And then I realized that one of my friends was here to guide you. And he sort of nods at Callum, and Callum looks down at him and nods. Like, they know, you definitely know that they know each other.
Ferold, is there anything you would like me to tell Vidar? He is, as far as I can tell, the closest thing you have to progeny.
I know he is my progeny. He's the one thing that I loved forever. And he breathes for a second. He says, well, tell him that I have never been more proud of any of my creations than I have until right now. And don't be so weird. You're weird. It's okay to be weird. But
Me
staring,
or
no, him.
Vidar? Okay.
Staring at people. It's a weird thing.
I believe he calls it people watching. You are right. I must go. Callum, thank you. Thank you.
No,
And
thank you.
fuck him up.
You
Fuck him up, Callum.
You already know. And he sort of pulls up his, like, massive sword that he had with him the last time, pulls his visor down, and Ferald sort of looks at him, and they bump fists, and plated armor comes from, like, this giant sort of thing mounted on Ferald's spine. It just goes, and, like, literally, like, Iron Man suit style covers Ferald, and they both jump down off the cliff, and you sort of go, and you're brought back into your body, and then fast forward, you have taken your 2 hours of rest, and you sort of awaken for the first time, feeling like you're waking in a cold sweat. You've never understood what that felt like, but you literally got to ruminate on what you've experienced, and it literally all comes back to you at once because it was just a second for everything else, but then you remember everything because you can. And you come back with a sort of like renewed idea of like the perspective of the world is like this very small amount of years you've been on here is just a tiny little speck of like the overall world history, and it is actually the most important era in all of history at this point. Like, just from that perspective, you can definitely extrapolate that literally for the first time ever you have a chance to defeat the idea of void in the first place. So what do you do?
I commit all that to memory by writing it down.
No, I would assume that you literally jump up and you immediately like write everything down.
Yeah, but I was role playing the fact that I'm a slow typer and I was typing my notes. Okay. Rep is going to leave the room excitedly and go find Luerchik, who is hopefully asleep in his room.
Absolutely. Conked out. Done. Fully sleeping, right, Luerchik? You are dead to the world.
Okay. So Rep is going to like literally just bust in through the door.
You're a
Wait.
nice long rest, idiot.
Do I hear it or do I sleep through it?
That's a good question. Make a perception check at disadvantage because you are out.
I think it'd be funny if it was a Constitution check, but that works too.
Oh no, Luerchik, he busts down he literally slams the door open and you are just out.
All right. So Rep is gonna sort of grab Luerchik by the shoulders and shake him. Luerchik, wake up! Wake the fuck up, samurai! We've got an empire to burn.
Make a Constitution saving throw, please, Luerchik. Oh yeah, you wake up. Or no, actually, you don't wake up. No.
Oh, I don't wake up.
You're shaking him like a baby, and he's not responding at all.
Know what to do.
You know what you have to do.
Luerchik, there's meat.
I'm just gonna say that you awaken immediately. Meat.
What? Where? I just like get out of bed and start walking past technician towards the door.
We have many things to discuss, but they have prepared a smorgasbord, whatever that is.
Smorgas? What now? I keep
it is a
beelining.
collection. It is a collection of meats.
Oh,
I love meat. Like a room full of gigolos. It is a collection of meats. A smorgasbord.
I probably haven't put my robe back on at this point.
No,
I'm just walking downstairs.
You should dress. You should dress. Cover.
No. I get this point. I can't hear him. I'm like already out the door.
Your cloaca is
downstairs.
out.
The best part is you're definitely not disguised. So you're walking down as Luerchik, 100%. But Vidar, make a perception check because you're in the dining room area. Oh yeah, you hear Luerchik and Technician yelling at each other as he's coming. Actually, you're coming up the stairs because it's the actual bed areas are underground. You hear them before you see them, Vidar, and you can actually clearly see from a little bit of a distance that Luerchik is not disguised.
If I see him, I'm going to throw a psychic whispers at him, and just say, "Good morning, Lorzvek," in that kind of
dad voice.
Good morning. Wait, do I catch on that this is?
Make an insight check. Yeah, surprisingly, you do.
I'm like walking down the stairs and just like slowly start creeping back up the stairs.
Rep is gonna sort of be in the hallway still and go find Sabas's door and slam the hand on his face. Sabas, naked lizard party, Sabas.
I'm gonna sit up and then just like take a second, lift her finger up, and go, "Excuse me, what the fuck did you just say?"
There's naked lizards in the hallway, but it's time for breakfast. Get up. I have exciting news.
Is the naked lizard the breakfast?
What? There's
Not-
naked lizard. That's why you put your cat ears on. You want to get seated.
Not that I'm aware of. I believe breakfast might be some special sort of venison. I smell venison, sort of weird venison.
No matter how much I change the mic settings, I can never cut out Emily. Yeah, okay, Silas will get up and get dressed and go, "Thank you for informing me, technician. I am interested to hear the news." And then just sort of walk past and just sort of look at Loershik, just like,
I think
Not
Laura's
touching
walking
that.
past you naked.
just like, "Oh, this is what was meant." Oh, no.
I go to put my robes on and I disguise up.
Okay. Okay, you get down into the area. You get down into the main area, or up into the main area after you put your robe on. Technician, do you give them did you tell them what happened when you died, or what do you say?
Yeah, but I was gonna do it during breakfast. So I mean, if everybody's got robes on and everybody's ready to come downstairs. Yeah,
Okay.
Sabas, you got robes on? You ready to come downstairs, eat breakfast? Here, story time.
Put on her fancy spider silk clothing, 'cause they're coming.
Awesome. Okay, Vidar, are you actually gonna sit with us for breakfast, or are you gonna be in the corner brooding and staring at people and all that?
I've been pretending to be social all morning, talking to the brothers. So yeah, I'll join.
First of all, I am not sure if the rest of you are aware, but Lorsvag, I understand the sacrifice that you made. Your friend is not necessarily in a better place, but he is glad to have done what he did.
As he's saying this, I'm just nodding and biting into this pure black jerky. It's incredibly
It
salty.
looks weird, but it's really, really good.
Are you literally just
Challenge.
eating as a coping mechanism at this point?
He's eating his feelings away.
Vidar, I met your father. Or I was tripping hard, but either way, I have a message for you. He wants you to be more sociable, to stop staring at people. He says you are being, not my words, his words, weird. I apologize for my glitchy nature yesterday. The trauma to my overall body caused me to lose time. 5,563 milliseconds. This sort of clock drift creates very bad abnormalities in my speech. It felt like I was gone for at least half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, speaking with our ancestors, with Callum, with Farald, experiencing the eternal vision, which I regret to inform you is in fact the eternal struggle. I understand now how temper is made and the actual stakes of what is at play with what is going on in our world. We have made the assumption that Mumbal is responsible because shards of Mumbal's body have been used in the various atrocities. However, it turns out that Vidar, you are the key to this. Number one, finding the Soulforged, also the key to this. Number two. But, most importantly, if we can locate Void's Soulforged and kill them, we can end this. Now, this might require the help of all the other Soulforged that we can muster, because this is a person who has understood they are Soulforged since birth. We do not know their age. We do not know their location, but we do know how to track down Soulforged. So this is something that is within our power to grasp. And at this point, we finally have a solid strategy on how to win this battle. I should also inform you that what temper actually is, it is the souls of those who have died in the eternal vision. They become iris sight, and when the battle stops in the eternal vision, the iris sight is dug up, it is hurled towards the planet's surface as meteorites, and it takes 100 years from that point to become temper. The nature of it is both the nature of life and unlife, of death and undeath. But this new knowledge can help us win this struggle. And that's it, just in case anybody's thinking I'm doing too many dramatic pauses there. I'm done. That's it. That's all I have.
After he finishes his spiel, I reach into my bag and grab the amulet and just put it on the table in front of him and go back to eating my jerky.
Okay. I'm going to direct message you what it is.
All right, Vidar's moved from the campaign. Continue.
Uh-oh.
He's gone. Poof.
Okay. You're already. Alright.
Is he good?
And
Uh-oh. He appears to be
Yep, Ferald
AFK.
tells him to stop being weird, and he eats himself into oblivion. Kind of a weird response, but okay. Real quick question on that.
Poofs
Okay.
out of existence.
Real quick question on that, because that theoretically could be used to summon a thing. Would the summon thing be friendly to the wearer?
It does not say.
Okay, fair enough.
That's basically the whole thing, and then it says in order to attune to it, you must sacrifice 7 other beings in order to do it.
Excuse me, what the fuck?
Oh, was he back?
Yeah, I bumped the thing and restarted my computer on accident.
Vidar, shocked by this news, reboots.
Oh wow! Until he turns his camera on, Spoopy's the game master. Oh nope, there we go. Oh, you got Glory there for a second, just for a second. Yeah. So that's what it takes, technician. That's what it says.
Okay, technician's going to turn to Lorishik and say, "This is the beacon of the Great Worm. This can be used, if attuned, to lead the Great Worm to it, which is most likely why it was on the Spider Boss Lady."
That's all it does. It just brings in a worm.
The Great Worm, yes. I do not
Who's
believe
the-
you understand.
who's
Let
the
me
Great
let me
Worm?
explain. The Great Worm is bad news. The sighting of the Great
I
Worm
mean-
would be a signal of cataclysmic times.
It's just a worm. I reach over
With
and
a
I
with a
grab
Y.
the
With a
amulet.
Y. Worm with a Y.
No, it's worm with a U, actually.
Worm with a U.
So it's German. I mean,
Worm.
worm.
It is
Okay.
actually Worm, now that I'm thinking about that, right?
So-
Isn't it?
No, a WURM is technically the same thing. In this world, Jormungandr is a worm, a WURM.
We have seen the great worm before. It was trudging through the forest and tunneling, and we saw it and were so horrified by its visage we chose to ignore that it ever happened. In fact, I believe some of you may have blocked it directly from your memory.
I did say the name of that worm last week. If anyone wrote it down, I think it's Vitengander or something like that.
Um,
Hold on, I got you. It's
Ace Lagander.
Aslagander.
Ace Lagander. Here it is.
So this thing just summons a worm.
It summons the end of the world, but yes.
How do I summon it?
In order to use this to summon the worm, you would have to attune to it. This amulet can get the great worm's attention. To attune to this amulet, you need to do something specific. This is not like your hammer. Your hammer you had to focus and meditate on in order to become one with it, to understand it. This, in order to understand it, you must sacrifice. You must sacrifice people. You must sacrifice 7 people. The fact that I must go into this amount of detail concerns me, Loretta.
I already have done 1. I only need 6 more. You interested?
No, you have not sacrificed someone while wearing this amulet.
I have to be. Oh, is it worth anything?
I would assume that it has jewelry value, but it would effectively be cursed for anybody that wore it and then chose to sacrifice anybody for any reason. So imagine receiving a piece of jewelry that you wear, and then over the course of your next 10 years, you randomly do something, and it might be considered an act of violence in some places. But say, for example, it is part of your job. And then you commit this act 7 times, and all of a sudden, now, there is a giant worm heading to your front doorstep. And then it arrives, and with it heralds the end of all mankind. What a fool you would feel. Also, pants-crapping terror.
So you're telling me right now that we went to go help some poor farmers with their bug infestation, and we just saved the world? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
To a degree, yes. I believe this large insect was, in fact, trying to summon the worm to them.
Completely unrelated to the other end of the world we're facing right now.
No. This is most likely related.
I think this would be better served in your bag. I hand it back to the kitchen.
I do not believe this belongs in the bag of holding. There is a possibility that nefarious forces could actually abscond with this from the bag of holding. Are you not aware of the legend?
I can't put this up my
Bagman?
cloaca, man.
I will take it. I will keep it safe. But are you not aware of the legend of the Bagman?
I'm going to rip that humor module out of you.
This is not humor. This is not humor. It is unconfirmed histrionics. Maybe a little bit sensationalized, but... I'm just going to quickly explain the legend of the Bagman.
So, for those of you who are unaware, the legend of the Bagman is, at some point in history, a man got stuck in a bag of holding, but he didn't die. He was stuck there for so long that he became an integral part of the network of bags of holding. And it's rumored that every once in a while, if he finds your bag, he will basically take something and leave another something in its place. Like, it will take a really valuable item and leave a little trinket in its place. And the next time if he leaves a trinket in your bag, the time after you find the trinket, he will pull you into the bag of holding and eat you. Or keep you in his collection of people in his bag of holding.
So should I destroy this thing and then while I'm at it, destroy that evil bag?
I will hold on to it. I will not put it in the bag of holding, but I will hold on to it, and we will take it to Stanislava and see. I doubt this can be useful to us, but just on the off chance that it is, we will ask.
It
Cool.
belongs
I
in a
hand it over to
museum.
him.
Sorry.
It belongs at me. Yeah, thank you. 3 people went for the same joke.
Yeah, we did. I didn't even see the chat.
No, that literally just happened. But yeah.
Yeah, we're about 5 minutes off from our 15-minute break. Let's go ahead and take that real quick since we're sort of in a period where we can. It sort of fits. We'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Short rest. Bam. welcome back, everybody, to Legendary Tales. We just had our 15-minute break. We just had a 15-minute break. Hope everyone went and got food, went to the bathroom, did what you got to do, you know. All right, where were we? We just finished breakfast the day after the fight with the Beetle Queen. Technician died. He had a moment with Ferald and some other people.
He sat down to breakfast, explained that moment, and told Vidar that his father loves him and is very proud of him, and wants him to be a more sociable creature. And then I identified a amulet that it turns out brings Ace-Lagander, Devourer of Worlds, Defender of the Realm, Protector of Italian Virginity, etc.
We should head back to Turfor at some point soon. My gold reserves are running lower than I'm usually comfortable with. It would be nice to maybe see if maybe we have some dividends.
Did we not dispatch Bolo the Blastmaker to check on our business for us?
We did. We didn't tell him to get our funds, though.
That might have been implied. You could just reach out to him. We do have sending.
Do you not have phones, Exa?
What the heck? So, sorry, my cat was in the way. I was not paying attention. I was trying to get her off my desk, but she's not having it. The comrade cupcake was not having it today. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. So you guys have successfully completed the, clearing out the thing. What do you do? What do you want to do now? Do you want to go talk to the person that gave you that quest initially? What do you want to do? Why is that so loud?
We should talk.
As a favor, so I mean, we can probably talk to them, ask if they want anything else to finish up, but probably not going to get anything out of it.
We should talk to them because I
to-
believe that we were going to set up a labor agreement with the refugees from the warbands.
Ah, right.
I have the Yeet Stone to give to them to send them back to the warbands to discuss.
That one.
I think they were going to come back with you guys when you go back on your own, remember?
Out of character, I thought that we were planning to drop it off with them. They were going to eat back, and then we were going to head. I thought we were going back north from Unskal to somewhere.
Go find the other Soulforged here.
Because we're looking for the Soulforged. Yeah. We were going to go through the forest again.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Why don't I have Sill Time on my navigatable areas? There we go. Here, I'll bring us back to that map because that's the only one that matters at the moment. Oh, it's just.
But how will they eat there without having been there before?
They can't. That's the issue.
Okay. So somebody has to yeet back with them and then return to the party.
Both. Well, I guess we can all go back very quickly, and we can come back. They have more Yeet Stones they can give to us.
Yeah.
It's probably best for us to.
I mean, anyway. I mean, yes, that is a good plan. Why am I holding on to these carapaces? Carapaci. Carapason?
I'll pull one out. Well, maybe, and I go to reach to pull one of the carapaces.
Carapaces. Here, have a carapaces.
I take one out. Does anyone see me pull this
pisses at the
10
end.
foot by 3 foot 60-pound bug part out of a bag?
It's nothing you can hide. Everyone is just like, I don't know what that's about, but okay.
I just look around the place. Hey, does anyone have any need for giant bug parts?
Sabas, would you like to make a masonry check or anyone with a blacksmith's tools?
Yes, those are both me.
Are they really?
A masonry check. What is a
Well,
masonry
I don't
check?
technically have blacksmith tools, but I did have her flavor in the background as being a blacksmith.
Oh yeah.
So,
I think you actually do have proficiency in blacksmith tools.
I don't have the tools, and no, I don't. I just have mason tools.
Oh, you should have it.
Yeah.
What's the attribute for that ability? Sorry.
Intelligence.
Oh, why it's not letting me roll from the tool itself, but yeah, Rep will roll higher than I can, so.
Well, and he also has proficiency with everything because he's an artificer. He just literally has to
Yep.
summon it. He gains proficiency with it. So it's literally part of his kit as an artificer. Yeah, these are actually a sort of metallic. You don't really know what it's made out of, but it does appear to be made out of some sort of energetic material that appears to be metallic. That can it does appear to have a heating point and a melting point, and it's not made of it does look organic, but it appears to be meltable, or at least smeltable. Forgeable.
You said these are 10 foot by 6 foot by what?
10 foot by 3 foot is like the
Okay.
dimensions, and then it's about
Right.
3 inches thick.
Judging from their size and composition, one plate could probably make a half plate or breastplate armor.
Easily.
It does appear that these can be forged. 2 might be enough for a full plate of mail. Sorry, a full plate mail armor.
Well, it seems like no one around here seems to be very interested in these bug pieces. Maybe we put this back in the bag and take it to the warbands with us. I'm sure they can find some use for it.
I think if we give them to Kuzma, he's going to want to honor the ancestors of the bug that died for this carapace. Possibly.
So we
But who
should
knows? He
give
might just
them
make
to
a
Kuzma.
he might just make a fancy address out of them. It might be worth taking it back to Ferald's Forge. Maybe
Auroch.
Auroch would know what to do with these.
I put the carapace piece back in the bag of holding. Well, do we have any other business here?
Were you still going to try to invest in the meat smokery?
If we do decide to do that, I'm sure we could send something back with the representative that comes to the warbands. I feel like finding Soulforged probably is the better use of our time right now.
Okay, shall I go fetch her?
I'm happy to tag along unless you want to go on your own.
I'm not doing breakfast.
Okay, I go back to eating meat.
All right. Rep is going to go try to find the lady that was running the Mushroom Kingdom.
I think her name was Peach.
It was Peach. Yeah, the Peach, the lady at the front desk. Is she in this castle? Is she in another castle?
Who all is going over to the mushroom farm?
Go. That's the one you got us into this quest in the first place, so I see no reason not to not go.
All right, is everyone going?
Is Laura
Nope,
Chick
still eating meat.
Did I name that girl?
I don't believe so.
I don't have a name for her.
Okay, you don't. Okay, so if everyone agrees, I don't have a name for her. I did not give you her name. You get over there, and she looks at you guys, and she says, "Oh, looks like you've rested well. I'm so happy. All of you looked so damaged when you came up. Especially,
Yes, I was quite fucked up.
We saw a healer.
That's great. I'm so happy, genuinely. Well, are we going?
We will be in a second. We were probably going to do this at the inn. We have one party member who has not quite finished his breakfast.
How about I come to the inn in half an hour? I'll meet you over there with all my stuff that I need to bring with me.
That sounds great. I'm sorry, we did not get your name the first time.
Oh, Iris.
Iris.
Mhm.
Thank you. Do you have a nickname?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Thank you. We will see you at the inn in half an hour.
Okay, see you soon. And she sort of gets back to her desk and she starts packing like a little backpack, little travel pack. You guys get back to Loershik. As you guys are standing there, the parents come out and Loershik. As you're by yourself in there eating breakfast, because everyone else, Vidar, did you go with Technician or was it just Sabbath?
Yeah, I was going with to be social.
Oh, okay. As you're sitting there, Loershik, the parents bring out a backpack, like a full leather pack, and they sort of hand it to you. And they say, well, I heard you wanted samples for potential investment or supply or something. Well, here's what we got. It's jerky, and then the top section, there's a small bag in this top section that's very perishable. It's actually raw. So make sure you cook that on a smoker or something when you get the chance. It's all for you.
Please let me compensate you
No.
for
No.
this meat.
Our community can thrive further with your help of clearing out that section. So please, we could not think of a better way to compensate you specifically. If your friends need anything else, let me know. But that should be about 50 pounds total.
It is appreciated. We will send a representative from the warbands, if not one of ourselves, to come back and discuss investment opportunities. Thank you.
I look forward to it.
How heavy is this bag?
50 pounds. It's actually
I carry
50
it around,
pounds
just
of
throw it
meat.
over one shoulder, and okay.
You guys have to give me 2 minutes. Go ahead and waffle for a minute. Apparently, my parents came by and dropped something on our front door and didn't tell me they were doing it. So I don't want to have someone steal it.
Do you guys
so.
by chance have any waffles? Oh, you don't have waffle. I'm waffling.
We can construct a rudimentary waffle iron. Sabas, will you help me smith real quick? Clang, clang,
Why
clang.
not?
Clang, clang, clang.
Let's just say we all indulge in chicken and waffle.
I pull out
So-
Waffle sounds so good right now.
Yeah, it does.
Can we get chicken and waffle tomorrow?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I'm really
I pull
hungry.
out the bronze mask. It's in my bag. Should we make more of these?
I don't know. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I can in fact disguise. I am capable of making disguises, but
But this bronze mask is specific. It was one of the masks that Yvonne's people are wearing.
What are you doing? You trying to GM?
I don't know. Do you think if we had more of these bronze masks, it would allow us to infiltrate Artstadt? I do have business there.
It's entirely possible.
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. If we were to skillfully duplicate this item, that could help us infiltrate.
Sabas, I hand you the mask. Do you know what materials were used to make this mask?
What mask is this? I missed that.
It's a bronze mask. This has like been in his inventory for forever. So it's
This is from like at the very beginning of the campaign,
Yeah.
Devin.
Okay.
I have a bronze
Okay,
mask.
so I
that
know
is
it's
from-
okay. It's okay that it doesn't sound familiar.
yeah,
Exactly.
I assume it is bronze.
It is. It absolutely is.
All right, so I
You
just
know
like,
what,
look around.
mask I have, right, Devin?
No, I don't remember that at all.
There was an instance where one of Yvonne's people, they were wearing a bronze mask or something, and we killed them. I took the mask off of them, and I put it in my bag. I've been carrying
Oh, it was
since,
the
like 30 episodes.
in the graveyard, the Inquisitors. In the graveyard, the Inquisitors, that orc that had the giant bow.
That's right. That sounds
that's right. Yeah, we've got his bow and his modified arrows, and apparently his mask. I didn't remember that.
One of them. It wasn't him that had a bow on. It wasn't him that had the mask on, or was it the Paladins? It was the Inquisitors. I know it was the Inquisitors had that mask on.
Okay.
Anyway, it's bronze.
It's made of bronze, so it's actually very heavy. Like it's like a 5 or 6 pound mask. I think that would be about right for the size of it. If you want to make Sabas, you've sort of been around the world a little bit. Go ahead and make a history check for me, please. You actually know exactly who made this mask. His name is Jean-Jacques Pierre Delmonfrere.
Continuing to hate him. The name's too long.
He's an art stat. He's an art stat. Is
All right,
he's
I'm going to make the hit list.
he's a very famous art stat. Not an armorer, but a jeweler.
Okay.
And he works normally with bronze, but he actually like puts it basically made bronze like a non-structural metal for a very, very long time. And everything he produces is unique. He never mass produces anything. So, and as you're like inspecting the mask, you can actually see on the inside it's got like leather like plates that you can hook, that basically leather pads that you can put on everything to make it easier. And on the very bottom of it, there's a maker's mark, and then it says 1 of 9. So this is the first mask out of 9 in a series.
Yeah, Sabas is gonna just like, yeah, it's made from. Never liked his work. He always makes 1 of something. It does say 1 of 9 for this, which would be interesting if he made 9 of the same thing. So that's not quite his style. But
If it says 1 of 9 and he only makes unique works, it is most likely this is 1 of 9 in a series, probably on a theme.
probably different. Each one's different, so it's alright.
Where is this guy located?
I thought. I wish I didn't know about him, but I do. Parts.
Devin,
Mm-hmm.
Devin, sorry, can we get that entire French sentence, which is his name?
You want me to re-say his name?
No, I'm sorry. Can you type it in chat for the spelling and stuff?
Can you show me how you spelled it, and I'll correct it. I just am curious.
He doesn't remember what he said.
No, now he has to actually go and find his notes and hope he remembered correctly.
Start on.
Well, that's the first
I
name.
put the mask back in my bag.
Well, we don't know, so we want to be given that.
It might be easier to simply knock off his style and claim that we have found his
That starting date.
lost works or something of that nature.
Oh, Jean.
Thank you.
Jean. Sorry, there it is.
It's some kind of like Orlesian name from fucking Dragon Age. With the
They're
mask and everything.
they're supposed to be a little bit French, inspired
Yeah, it's-
with
yeah, the
with
Orlesians are, but
yeah.
just with the mask, the whole mask thing is just making me think of fucking Dragon Age now.
Yeah,
I may have an addiction.
maybe a little bit of inspiration, you know. The best part is Fred saying the gang invents fantasy waffles is the entire basis on us playing a TTRPG inside the Star Wars TTRPG that we were playing. Literally, I told them to waffle once, and we literally had a one shot of them playing a game inside of another game. So I had to
It was great.
I had to play a guy playing another guy disguised as another guy.
With the secret goal of inventing waffles.
Yep. No, actually, it's
Chaos waffles. but,
Chaos Waffles. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you know where the mask is made. You know who it's made by. What are you guys doing now? Are you eating back? What's your plan? Dang, this microphone is sensitive.
Yeah, we have to wait half an hour for Iris.
Iris.
Iris to come meet us at the inn so that we can yeet Stone back.
During that 30 minutes, I show them the mask. We talk about it a bit, and then I show them my meat sack. Do you guys like my meat sack?
We do.
It seems disproportionately large.
It's the correct size. Thank you.
Does it not hurt your back to carry that much meat sack around?
I'm used to it.
Who has the Yeet Stone?
Laura just
I do.
does.
We're still waiting for.
You are hostage to shenanigans.
As you guys get your stuff together, Iris comes out with her. She's actually dressed in like a fairly rugged clothing, like a decent pair of pants, boots, and like not her. She normally wears like the rubber overalls and stuff, but she's actually dressed in like a nearly adventurous clothing. She just sort of looks at you and is like, "Okay, I'm ready."
Then let us away.
I looked at Vidar. Vidar, can you please hold my meat? I hand him my meat. And then I go into my normal bag and pull out the yeet stone.
Okay.
And put my hand out like I want to form a circle, and everyone puts their hands together.
She just looks confused for a second. Are you okay?
By our powers combined.
We are. And I reach out and grab the meat sack back from Vidar and throw it back over my shoulder.
Going somewhere?
Oh, the Yager.
We are in
We
disguise.
All right. Where are you? You're eating straight back to the warbands, right? Or where are you going?
No. A technician is taking us to the moon.
You're going to
No.
the Eternal Vision?
No. Now, if we're going to the Eternal Vision, this isn't how we get there. I feed you some fruit punch, and then everybody gets the Eternal Vision in their own time over the next 2 or 3 hours. But first, we have a very long talk about the Bible. You start calling me Jim.
I assume that we yeet to where we have been in the warbands, knowing that they've gone to, or we haven't been to the.
You've not been to Garansk yet.
Yeah. So probably yeet to where Stanislava's tent usually is.
All right. In Novoshergut, you guys arrive in Novoshergut, except the only thing waiting for you is the man himself. Basically, there's just a small tent just chilling where everything else was. The rest of it is now a dried, hardened mud that was very clearly, they had this massive campground that had been there for years and years and years and years. And the only thing that's left are a few skeletons of timbers and things like that were set up for structural purposes, semi-permanent. A few foundations that were laid for specific ones. And then it's just a small tent, and sitting out in front of that tent in front of a fire is a very completely naked Casimir, just chilling, just no clothes on. He sort of looks up at you and he goes, "Hello."
Hi.
Casimir, I can see your meat. Do you want to see my meat? I start to like swing the bag around in front of him.
Sabas leaves the tent.
Actually, you guys are just outside the tent, like in the middle of the area, and Casimir just stands.
Sabas is leaving the tent.
Casimir stands up. He puts his hands on his hips. What do you mean?
I just open the bag
Oh,
and I show him the meat.
it's actual meat.
Don't have anyone. Get your mind out of the gutter, Casimir.
Well, I was told to stay
New
here
consequence.
until you come back, and then we take a trip to Gdansk. That way you know how to get there, obviously. But, he sort of, like, messes, he picks his teeth for a second. He says, oh, who's that pretty young lady you have there?
Casimir,
name is-
You do not seem to be dressed for guests.
What do you mean?
I see you made quick work of the bandits, Casimir. The ones that came by and stole your pants?
Oh, no, I fell in the mud yesterday. They're over there. And he points, and there's, like, a little clothesline with his drying, harness with that he has his great axe in and all of his equipment normally. And then a very small pair of shorts that are, like, brand new. He's just sort of, like, has it, like, clothesline clipped, and it's very, like, you can tell he used to wear pants. He's given up on wearing pants now. He says they're going to be there.
Cast prestidigitation at 6th level on his pants.
If only you were magical. So,
Casimir, if you have wet your pants, you do not need to make excuses about mud.
oh, if I had pooped my pants, I would have told you. I am not one for pride and not one for really caring about that at all. I mean, everyone shits their pants, especially when mushrooms are involved like they were yesterday. So, don't worry about that at all. It's fine.
Okay.
So is this the lady from the bad place? I mean,
She is from Untitled. She is a representative of the workers there and is currently in charge of the mushroom farm, where we did eradicate some insect problems. They are now able to grow medicinal mushrooms again.
that is fantastic. Very, very exciting. So, I am Casimir Bloodbath. That is my name, my given name. And
Iris, this is Casimir Bloodbath. He usually wears pants.
yeah,
Casimir, this is Iris.
I do. And she's like blushing, and she's like looking around like anywhere but down.
Casimir, go put your pants on.
I can't. They are wet. Unless you can magic them not wet anymore, or you have extra pants that fit my extremely muscular lower half.
Sabas is gonna cast create bonfire and then just like stake the pants right next to it so they will dry off a lot faster than hanging up.
Okay. Well, I guess that solves it. For apparently you people who care about being naked, he like takes his hand and he like sort of like covers it awkwardly. He's like, I'm sorry. I just have no...
As best he can with one hand.
Yeah. Well, he is a half-orc, actually, so he is well endowed.
Casimir, I tried to avoid this issue by keeping my private parts in my bag of holding.
You don't have... Are you telling me you have detachable penis? Is that what you're saying?
We're perhaps going to reach into his pack and pull out a very well-crafted but moderately sized stone penis and then put it back in the pack.
Why is it stone? Doesn't that get cold?
Yes.
Oh,
But it never loses its erection.
These are okay.
fair enough. That's fair.
We saw
whatever.
ED boys.
Oh, this is getting very strange.
Technician, while your hand's in your bag, touching your can I borrow the spyglass
Arrows.
before we go to Gdansk?
Sabas is standing out trying to dry pants, casting great
Yes.
bonfire every minute, looking very suspiciously at Vidar and Technician, just like, I don't trust you people anymore.
I take the
Here,
spyglass from
spyglass, yes.
Technician
Mm-hmm.
and I extend it and look at Iris first.
Okay.
You have to-
She has a very bright light blue aura.
I look at Casimir next.
Oh, literally his entire like thing. He has never had more blood coming off of him than he does right now.
And then I look at Technician.
His aura has changed. It's his normal, like, sort of light, sort of orange color aura, and then directly behind him, you can see a very large, temper-colored silhouette of a man. Sort of overimposed over him, sort of superimposed behind his aura.
I thank you, Technician. Just to confirm, would you mind taking a look at and just seeing what I see?
Of course. And Technician's going to activate it and hold it up to his eye and check out Iris and check out Casimir.
Yep, light blue and just shitloads of blood.
I suspect you didn't see anything new or interesting. I don't see anything new or interesting.
Nope, nothing. I think we're good. Just wanted to confirm that we didn't actually just take a new void receptacle and head to Garansk.
Iris is just looking at you guys like, what? What are you talking about?
Long story. Then I explain the story. The story then ends. Iris is now updated.
Oh, sure.
We must be cautious.
Perhaps we should head to Gronsk.
Sure.
That.
He takes, he sort of walks over to Sabas and takes entirely too long, like taking his little shorts off the thing and then putting the shorts on and very clearly readjusting himself, but nothing is hidden. They are definitely shorts that are designed to accentuate things for him. And when I say shorts, they're like this long total. Like,
So you're saying we got a barbarian in booty shorts?
oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But he looks, to be fair, he looks amazing because his legs are extremely muscular.
Do you by chance have-
No.
Rap is going to reach into his bag again and grab the canteen.
Yeah.
And hand it to Casimir. He was there for the first time I did that joke. He should remember this one.
He just looks at you and he says, "You want me to pour this on myself? Because I will."
No, you appear to be afflicted with the thirst.
Oh, yes. And he just sort of looks down at Sabas and winks at her. As he puts like the rest of his like strappy armor clothing on. Doing it very slowly and flexing like his entire body as he does it. So,
Choke on candy, you bitch.
what? Are you okay?
Fine, I choked on my candy.
Don't die, okay? He looks down at Sabas after like putting his equipment back on. And he says, "Oh, we can leave the tent. The tent is going to be here forever anyway." So, and he like puts his hand out for Sabas. Because I assume that she's sitting down.
She'll take it.
He picks her up without like literally any effort at all, and then he takes his other hand and offers it to Technician. We should go.
Right. I guess Alice needs a day of downtime later.
Everyone joins hands, and he brings out his like super yeet stone, and whoom, whoom, you guys get pulled through the yeet portal, and you land on this massive stone platform, much like the other fortress that was in the northwest. I don't remember what I called it. You arrive in a actually very warm Blackstone Fortress. It's like the whole thing is made of black stone, and it's all polished to awesome, and there are thousands of people, and it's basically a giant fortress built onto and around a plateau that the very bottom of this plateau is probably 100 feet below you, and they have elevators that are bringing people up and down. But the and that leads to a port that is built into the sort of bay that has a bunch of like glaciers floating in it, and you can definitely see that there are ships, like massive long ships full of people just coming into the port, and people are unloading them, pulling them up to the Blackstone Fortress, unloading them in like the giant barracks areas or the housing areas. There are different areas for different people. And you arrive on the sort of terrace that belongs to what was formerly a gigantic church that has now been transformed into a huge sort of mess hall / longhouse. And right at the very top of it, Kuzma and Stanislawa. Actually, Kuzma, Stanislawa, I'll tell you in a second. And also, on top of that, each of the flags of each of the war bands the banners have been arranged with the Crossing Grits at the very top, and then everyone else sort of coming down from that side with Absalorn on the far right side. I'll actually give you the exact order in which they're in right now. So at the very top there is Crossing Grits. To the right of that is the Kozik Rik, which I will give you guys proper spellings of all these things right now. Kuna Stanislawa, and I'll tell you in a second. That's funny. So you have Krasen Grits. This isn't the order they're in, but you have Krasen Grits, Kozik Rik. On the left is Slukoa Ich, Samaradov, Palkimoch, Vidacha on the left side, and then you have Absalorn on the far right side. And those of you who speak Giant, most of you actually recognize that as Red Bear in the middle, and then it goes the Goat Horn, the Burning Eye, Emerald, Silver Sword, Temper on the left, and then wait, it's 8? Is it 8? Oh, there are 8. So yeah, and there's also Suterica, which is Twilight, which is right next to the Absalorn, which is Iron Mines. The word Absalorn in Giant means Iron Mines. And they're the spider people. So, and with that, Stanislawa, Kuzma, the twins are there right now. Oh, thank you, Spoopy. Who else is there? Hold on. I'll give you the full list. So you have Boris, Anatoly, Boris. Where else? Not Inger. Kuzma. Where are you? Stanislawa, Vyacheslav, the Beast Butcher is there, Yana, and Zoya. Wait, I am missing. Wait, where's Blue Justice? Oh, Rustis.
Rustis lives in a broom closet now because he doesn't have followers anymore because they're all dead because we killed them all.
No, that was just some of his boys. He has loads of followers, but they're not all there.
It was a joke.
I know that. Do I not have a person?
Out of character. Why are we whispering? Is whispering the new meta?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I have the proper person for
It's also sexy.
Samaradov.
I have a plan. Psst, 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 psst.
There's Kozik Rik. Do I not have a person for Samaradov or Suterica? Huh. Might not have introduced everyone in the beginning of this. Oh, Lydia of Vidaka is there. No, Kuzma is Suterica. What the heck? Who's Palki Moch? Do I not have the representative?
While the gods are trying to figure out who
No, it's
exists,
Anatoly. Okay.
I pull the I ask the technician for the amulet.
Yeah. Go ahead. You guys go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Here you go.
Thank you. I put it on.
Were you not going to ask Stanislava about that?
Yeah, but it's just safer around my neck until we walk up to Stanislava.
Sus.
I also don't want to forget about it. I'm not going to kill anybody in the next 5 minutes. And you're standing next to me. You can just pull it off my neck. It's fine. Just trying to waffle while the gods figure out who's named what.
Deception check. No, I'm sorry. I do the other one. You do is what I'm.
I do a deception.
Insight, thank you.
You
Yeah.
have to do an insight check.
Wow. Yeah.
Checks out.
Checks out.
My suspicions were unfounded. I apologize for being suspicious.
You have nothing to be suspicious about, Technician. I just didn't want to forget about it. That's all.
I was mostly dead yesterday. I am not in a great mood.
I am curious, Technician. You should look at the amulet. With the I take the amulet off and I hold it out. You should look at the amulet with the spyglass to see if objects get their own aura.
Yeah, let's. We're gonna check out the spyglass. Or I'm sorry, we're gonna check out the amulet with the spyglass. My
Sure.
insight check was so bad. I'm stupid. So smart me.
So smart me. As you're looking at the amulet with the spyglass, it actually has an aura. It has a magical aura, putting off basically gray fire in shades of gray.
It appears to not belong to Void, if that's what you wanted to know. But magical aura, fiery, shades of gray. Maybe 49, maybe more. Not sure.
It's good to know because perhaps there are void Horcruxes around.
I don't know what a Horcrux is, but there are simulacra. There is a Soulforged, and there is definitely a lot of those we're trying to find.
I put the amulet back on my neck.
The out of character. This is now the deck of many things moment right here, where he has a super weapon that he's wearing, and the minute he kills 7 things, it's
Well, no, it's part of a ritual, so you can't do it accidentally.
okay.
You can't.
Okay.
You cannot.
7 ants simultaneously.
I'm sorry, I was having a little bit of a panic moment there. If anybody's going to kill 7 people, it's him.
That is an interesting idea for a cursed item, though.
Who's the leader of It's Anatoly. Okay.
Just walking around, you kill too many bugs, a giant worm comes up and eats you, Dune style.
Vor.
And then the last one is Vidacha, who is, what's her name? Lydia. I'm doing proper spellings and stuff for you guys in our little messages. If anyone is curious, I could put them in chat as well.
Nope, thank you very much. I've been using that.
There you go. These are the actual leaders of everything. And KH in giant is pronounced with a h at the back of your throat. That's how you pronounce it. Here, if anyone is curious, these are the actual names. Oh, it doesn't really do the formatting properly, but it's Krasengritz, Suderica, Absalorn, Kozichrik, Sluvocha Ik, Smerodov, Palchimoch, and Vidacha. So that's actually how you pronounce it. KH is a h from the back of your throat. And then the proper names of the leaders are... Wait, I should edit these and put commas so it makes sense. Okay. Yeah, but you arrive and it's literally Rustis. Rostis of Smerodov is chillin'. Blue Justice is with Stanislawa and Kuzma. They are chilling on the platform, just making sure everyone is good. All of the other leaders are there. The Beast Butcher is unloading like a huge amount of game, sort of oxen and his like giant, like dire bears and all sorts of other giant creatures into a small platform / field that's off to the side, but still on top of the plateau, just outside of the giant walls, the Blackstone walls. Yeah. Any questions before we move on about anyone specifically, or? No?
Did I hear you say that Zoya is there?
Zoya is not currently there, not that you can see. They do actually have Sabis. You notice immediately that the upper part of the longhouse has actually been is not actually been redone, but there's a huge, really thick spider web that's been woven in between all of the giant Blackstone pillars in this huge building, and they've basically taken over the upper part of the church to nest and do stuff in.
Yeah.
And there are these large sort of wrapped around silk strands that you can actually climb up fairly easily as a person, but only you're the only person that sort of catches on to that, because it's like, why would that be there other than for someone like you? So
if I have weekday to
I mean, if I don't have anything to do, then it's time to go cuddle some spiders.
before we go on, Stanislawa immediately notices that you're there and sort of walks over to you guys and says, "Oh, they're back! Our heroes! Welcome back!" And she sort of picks up Loershik and like hugs you really close and squeezes you in the same time as like Kuzma sort of walks over to Vidar and nods happily at him. Technician Stanislawa and
Stanislava, Kuzma, please meet Iris of Jungskill.
Iris sort of. Go ahead.
And she is a representative of the mushroom farm, where we have eradicated the bug problem.
And Iris is like 5'1", so she's like looking up at Stanislawa like, holy shit, what have I done? She just sort of looks up.
Kind of just almost sighed and yanked this woman into like the most bizarre people she's ever seen.
Oh yeah. These people are well, to anyone in the mainland areas that's outside of the warbands area, they don't believe that the warbands exist in the first place because there's very little evidence of them existing. Because the charms that they have, the very powerful artifacts that each of the warbands has, makes it impossible to scry on them. Just straight up, you can't do it. So the likelihood that the warbands have ever been real for anyone that exists outside of the warbands is basically zero. These are a fictional group of people that don't exist to 99% of the world. Outside of it, obviously. But they do contribute a large percentage to the world, but anyone outside of that doesn't believe they exist in the first place. They just don't believe that area is like, it's like probably a promised land or something that no one ever goes to, but it's more the fact that they just don't exist to most people. So you're bringing her into the thing and she's like, I do have a question. Is everyone this large? Because our facilities don't support people this big.
There is a gathering of people who are refugees from their homes, nations, and families. These people are more diverse, but definitely not as large.
Oh, no offense. And Stanislawa just nods at her. Like, the people that you're going to bring back with you are not native or part giant like the majority of us are. So you're fine. And she looks down and she looks up and she goes, Sal. I was stressed there for a moment. Technician, you are very close to these people, are you not?
Some of them, yes.
Would you mind introducing me to the leader of them so that I can get prospective people to come join us?
Not at all. This way, please. And Rep is going to lead Iris over and start talking to people. I don't really think they have a leader, though. Like, there's no identified leader.
Prince
of the
Zarek?
I see him more as a figurehead. I see him as a political puppet.
Actually, surprisingly, better than anyone that he's actually stepped up to become an actual leader for these people. Because in their time, like, Nilhund in and of itself was sort of enigmatic in the fact that they have always been just sort of a force of magic and not necessarily leaderless, but not well led enough to be a world power in the same way that we idealize a world power in our sense of it, where the Crag is a world power, Artstadt is a world power. Nilhund is sort of like Sweden, or they've always been thought to be Sweden, where they don't.
And that, everybody watching, is the difference between being intelligence 20 and role playing intelligence 20. So Rep knows, I don't. Okay. Iris, please meet Prince Zarek of Nilhund.
Prince Zarek actually bows, does like a really deep bow at the hip, and stands up and like holds her hand for a moment and thanks her very much, and like immediately takes. He looks at you. He says, "If you don't need to stay, I can show her. I'd be more than happy to."
There were a few key people I was hoping you would introduce her to, specifically the farmers who had been using small amounts of magic soil to grow better crops. They might have the most input on how to help with the mushroom farm itself. Also, there was Bourgeoisie Luggage Rack, I believe was his name, the artist. He might also have some input.
Oh, Zarek just looks at you, confused at the last one, but he's like, "Yeah, I'll get her in touch."
He may have made up a name when he talked to me, but I just went with it.
Sure, I'll try and find whoever that is. Thank you very much. I go back to your meeting with the leadership, and I will direct her and get her a stone and everything that she needs to be successful, as far as I have power to do so.
Thank you. And Rap's going to return to the group.
A few minutes later, Rap comes back after Rostis basically hugs all of you and everyone gets together. Kuzma sort of walks over. Lorshik,
Yes?
where is he? I noticed that
He is
you're...
gone.
What do you mean? Like, there's nothing... there's nothing. I don't understand. And this is like after Rep walked away, by the way. So this is like in between Rep leaving and coming back.
I take the amulet off and reach out and hold it out towards Kuzma. We're helping the farmers, and they were the bugs we fought were a little bit more difficult than we had anticipated, and one of us died, but Callum took their place.
That is incredible. I will honor him. Do you have any part of his remains with you?
I unclip the leather pouch and hand it over to Kuzma with the amulet.
He opens it and you can see him go inside, and like he's his hands are very bony, and he has like really long sharp fingernails. So you could definitely tell like Kuzma is a creature in and of himself, and you guys know that by now, that Kuzma is sort of necromancer plus, I would say, where he's not scary to you because you guys have gotten to know him, but outwardly that would be like, what is that guy? So he sort of takes his claws and you can hear it like scratching the skull slightly, and he says, "Oh, okay, so I have something for you then. I will have something for you before you leave. You leave in a few days, correct?"
Unless we get a yeet stone that allows us to leave sooner. I was hoping perhaps we could send someone to retrieve his remains now that they're likely no longer soul stitched, and give him a proper burial here in the warbands.
I believe he would appreciate that very much. So we can do that. I can send someone. Do you know their actual location?
They were in a crypt outside of turf war, I believe.
Oh, so he was from the crag initially.
Uncertain. It seems as though his remains were. They may not even be his remains. Honestly, the skull might not even be his.
Oh no, the
His
skull is
essence
his.
just. Well, if that's the case, then they are in the tomb where we found the skull.
Okay.
If you send someone to turf war, you can talk to Bounty Master Sinhald. He can direct you to where they are.
Okay.
The amulet, though, that the leader of the creepers that were running around in this farm, she was wearing this.
He just sort of looks at it and like rubs on the stone, and as he's looking at it, he gets a very confused look on his face. He says, "This is a what we call it's hard to say. In original giant, it means lure or fishing rod or carrot on stick for it's sort of I don't understand how to say, but when you look at it,
It attracts things.
it does, and I believe this one's for very powerful creature. You gave this to me.
Technician mentioned a giant worm.
The one
great
of
worm?
one of the three worms.
So should we destroy it? I
You
start to
cannot.
reach for my hammer.
This is artifact. This was made before even Callum existed. You cannot destroy this. This might be part of prophecy. If all three worms come together, it blows the world to pieces. They devour the world, essentially.
As Technician starts walking back over, Technician, can I pull one of those carapace pieces
Yes.
out of your bag again?
Yes.
I
And
pull one
hand
out.
him my carapace, yeah.
He
I
just
kind
sort of
just
looks
hold
at
out
it. And he takes his little claw fingers and like scratches on it. He says, "This is very tough material. It looks soul stitch almost. Look glowing red a little bit. Huh. Orak. Take to Orak. He master of material."
We have roughly 250 pounds of it, so
Oh my gosh.
we can do something with it.
Dang. That's quite a lot. Definitely take to
Technician,
Orak.
do we need to do anything for Defender while we're here?
Defender is fine. I have repaired him. It does not actually take very much time. It's just, it is labor intensive, monotonous, and a very focus intensive task.
While I'm here, I would like to get a new tattoo if possible. I looked at Stanislav. Would you be able to point me to where I might be able to go get another one?
She just looks at you and then she points at Casimir, and Casimir like pats you on the shoulder. He says, "Yes, we go to my wife. She does all my tattoo."
Which
And,
one?
No, I am not Beast Butcher. What are you talking about?
The way that you looked at Sabas, I just never mind.
Well, yeah, she knows when a man looks good. Every woman knows when a man looks good if they're into it. Just throwing it out there. And he's just sort of looking at you confused. He says, "We go to my wife. She does all my tattoo." And Casimir is covered from head to toe in full tattoos. Like, there's not a break in any of his tattoos. It's all one huge, like, giant piece that he's probably gotten over years and years and years and years. Unfortunately, the clan tattoo artist got murdered, but he was eaten, actually.
Eaten by whom?
By the Beast Butcher.
Oh.
You should have seen
Makes
it.
sense.
It was glorious. If you look at him now, he missing finger because of that man. So now my wife is tattoo lady. So let's go. And he sort of like literally picks you up by your waist for a second. He says, "Oh yeah, I don't have to carry you. You can walk on your two little claw leg, creepy legs. You're fine." And he sort of walks
Out of
with
character,
you.
are we gonna go role play doing the tattoo now, or do you want to continue the Stanislava Crucible talk with everyone else?
If you have an idea of what you want the tattoo to look like, I'm just curious. Are you getting your Cross and Grits tattoo redone, or are you doing like a new one?
I want a new one. So my Cross and Grits one, I believe, is on my left shoulder.
It is.
I want Callum on my right shoulder. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Like you could describe him well enough, absolutely. And she does it like amazingly, and like it actually like blends in to your Cross and Grits tattoo. Like they look almost the same thing. It looks amazing. Yeah, she's actually an amazing tattoo artist. So she does it the whole time, all while holding a baby as well. His little orc baby. Because his wife is an orc. I don't know if I told you that, but his wife is like a full orc. So he has like a little 3/4 orc baby. Yeah, and you get a full tattoo of Callum on the side. Sabas, what are you doing?
Spider baby.
Are you going to cuddle with spider babies?
I probably end up doing some blacksmithing just for practice.
Okay.
And also, I would like to do some research to see into what would make the acid usable. Maybe consulting. Actually, I don't know who I would consult here. Probably technician.
Unlikely. The person that you're going to want to talk to is the Beast Butcher.
Okay.
The Beast Butcher's family famously ride on giant boars into battle, and they hurl alchemist fire on people. Like they're the most out of all the war bands, Sluchovaik is terrifying in the fact that they just do things that are just inhuman to people. Because alchemist fire can only be put out with magic, so you burn until you die, unless you have a person that can put it out. And they are extremely brutal because their philosophy is if you're lit on fire, you cook faster, and then they eat you.
Based. Anyways, yeah. So, ask them for that. Cuddle with spiders, the usual.
Okay. Sounds good. Going into the Beast Butcher camp is probably the most disgusting thing you've ever seen, ever. You're basically wading through like ankle-high mud that either is mud or poop. You don't know which one. He's got like these giant beasts everywhere. It smells like wet dog. And the second he comes out, I don't think you've ever seen the Beast Butcher. Okay, you've never seen the Beast Butcher.
Even the name doesn't sound familiar.
Where are you, my dude? He's one of my favorite. Vyacheslav is one of my favorite characters I've ever done in this whole game. I can't. Can I not share his token art? I can't. That makes me sad. Wait, can't. I might be able to. View character artwork. Show players. So he is a literal 15-foot tall giant, and his armor is made of human skulls. Like his full armor, all of it is made of human skulls.
Alright, Savas will not be staying any longer than she needs to.
And he sort of stands up and he looks at you. He goes, "Ah, you are part of Hodejäger, are you not? I recognize you. You smell like the lizard boy.
How would I smell like a lizard boy?
Because you have close to him. You have close proximity to him all the time. He smells like meat. He smells like jerky.
The meat tastes good. Is that a bad thing?
No, I would personally like to taste his flesh, but it's fine. So, what brings you to my tent and my 9 wives now?
She's gonna pull out the 2 flasks of acid. I was told you're an alchemist, and I have these.
I have been
One
known. Let me see that. And he literally takes it into his hand, like takes it from you, and he like does your hand, and he turns over, and he's 15 feet tall, and he's sitting on a throne also made of bone in a tent that has like the floors are like Blackstone, but on the entire floor outside of his throne is made of a giant bed. And on his bed are 9 separate women, all of varying sizes, and he points at one of them. And he goes, "You, show her." And it's a gnome. And she immediately walks to you, but you could definitely tell there's something wrong with her because she is waddling. She's not walking. And she walks over to you and she goes, yeah. What? Oh, let me see that. And she takes it and she pulls out a small bag. Like she has a small waist pouch and she looks at it and she puts a little powder in it and she goes, "Oh, it's inert. But if you were to add a little bit of glycerin, yeah, glycerin, not nitroglycerin, just glycerin, sugar or anything close to it will activate it and make it acidic. It will reactivate it. Is it organic?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. So them.
I killed a thing that moved for it.
Yeah. So if you activate the acid, it takes sugar. Because this specific organic compound, if the creature that made it ate a lot of sugar, it would make it more acidic and it doesn't burn the insides. You understand? You get what I mean? And
Yeah.
she just holds her stomach for a second. She goes, "Ooh. Ooh."
Transforming values in place. Partitionable. Easily leaves.
Alright, well,
I
thank you.
have to go. And she just sort of walks away and goes to like one of the side tents.
Savage just gonna take her flask of acid and leave. She has no reason to continue to be here.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the time to experiment is with the acid later.
Okay.
Battle of spiders now.
Okay.
Acid later.
Vidar, what are you doing?
But in our case, we're doing a puzzle.
Is there any obvious way up to the Absalorn ceiling nest thing?
I would assume if you waited around long enough, you could see what Sabas does in order to get up there. And you can actually see like the spider silk rope that's sort of wrapped around the giant Blackstone pillar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and just ask questions about some of the obviously not related, but semi-related. I think we decided beetle drider things that we ran into.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Savage is just
leave it.
off in the corner being the happiest little snake hugging a giant spider.
Yeah, but to Vidar, it looks like you're hugging nothing. So,
Yeah, she's just hugging a giant spider just passed out.
Zoya actually comes down from the ceiling and says, "The little machine man, how can I help you?"
In our recent travels, we ran into some drider, but not drider creatures that were more beetle than spider. They seemed
Interesting.
like they may be distantly related, but we were unsure.
Interesting. I've heard rumors that I have cousins in the east, evolved from some sort of volcanic beetle. That would make sense. Sulfur and ash being from that area. Did you get her name by chance? You did not. She did not have time to tell you. If you're looking it up.
Muted.
I did not get her name. I had a small conversation with her, but she was mostly trying to kill us.
As is most things in this world, to be fair. So anything
Indeed,
else I
it's an
can
unpopular trend.
anything I can do for you, Machine Man?
Is there anything else that we might know about finding your sister, I believe we were searching for in Siltime?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe we have found them yet.
The
Do you
walk
have any other leads?
the Walking Willows. That is where they live. At least that's what I've heard last time.
We have passed through the Walking Willows, though we did not know they were called that at the time. We do know where that is now, though.
Yep. That's where they live. With the trees.
Next time we pass through, and we are passing through soon, we will keep an eye out.
Thank you. I assume I'll see you again, Machine Man?
I assume that you are keeping an eye on us at all times. So I assume
Always.
so.
I can't in the east, but anytime you're around here, absolutely. And she just is sort of like she's actively like knitting something while you're there, just like passively because she just can. Okay. Have a good day. Have a good few days, Machine Man. I'll see you around. And she sort of crawls back up to the ceiling. Technician, what are you doing?
Explaining new intel to Stanislav and Kuzma regarding temper, where it comes from, its actual nature. Also, the intel about how Moonball is definitely not involved, even though pieces of his body are being used in all of this. And also the information that Void's Soulforged is awake and has been awake this entire time, and that cutting off that head is the specific key to this entire thing.
Yeah. Vidar just told me that Casimir's wife is a giant. I forgot that she's a giant. That was on me. My bad. I did not. To be fair, I don't know where that notebook is. Genuinely, don't know where the notebook is. So.
Next campaign, the search for the lost notebook.
Yep. Pretty much. Yeah. Unless Lairshik's doing anything else specific. Anything?
Perhaps meeting back up with the group and bringing the carapace pieces over to Urak, but that is it.
Well, he's at the factory.
Yeah.
So
We'd have to yeet him to the factory, but
Not doing that then.
All right, that's where we're going to leave this episode of Soulforged. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Yeah. So everyone have a good weekend. Stay safe. Do the right thing. And we should see you next Tuesday. Bye.